And what's happening, my people? Hopefully, everybody is doing good on this fine day. Hopefully, my voice isn't too weird. It's been a little strange over the last week or so. I haven't been sick, but my voice has been strange. So, anyway, what's up, everybody? Hope my light doesn't look too strange. I look kind of orange, but I don't want to look dead either. So, let's do that. There we go. Anyway, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Finally, back to the live stream thing. Had to skip it last week because of other stuff to do. But if you guys have been paying attention, I set up a live stream for every day, every Wednesday of this month. So if all goes well, I have something to talk about every week for the month of November. But anyway, I'm here. I'm ready to chat some RC stuffings and ready to get back to it. So howdy, everybody. And I want to make sure to shout out all the people that are here. Big Chris was the first person to start talking in here. So let's take a look up there. What is up with you, Big Chris? Thanks for being here. We are back to doing this thing called live streaming. But thank you for being here, Big Chris. You've always been a supporter and much appreciated. Mr. Randy Living Good is here too. Howdy to you, and glad to hear that you've got a new RC plane to get started on. It was a good trainer, and we're going to make sure to talk about it a little bit because I want to make sure that you do well with it when you get it. So she said he got himself an Aero Scout, which is a very good choice in plane. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me shout out whoever else is here. Mr. Mike Bird, what is up with you? Thank you for being here. I'm from all the way across the pond. I know it's a totally different time zone where you are, but I do appreciate you being here. What is up with you? Who else is here? And whoever else shows up, I'll just make sure to shout you out as you get here. But let's see, I don't think anybody else has chimed in yet. Oh, Mr. Dunstan Henry did. What's up, Mr. Henry? How do you do? Mr. Fred Barron, I was playing your music first thing. I'm doing multitasking here. My wife just took off to go to Idaho. So I am tracking her flight as she flies across the... right now, she's flying over Tahoe. But yeah, so what is up? Howdy, Fred Barron. So yes, as Big Chris said, it's an excellent starter plane. And you guys are talking about a plane that I have that I just happened to move today when I was grabbing some stuff out of the storage. This thing, the Yak, I have that plane in storage, unassembled. And if all goes well, I will get that thing done while I'm taking some time off from work. We shall see. But anyway, so yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I gotta get that plane together. But anyway, what is up? And thank you to all of you. So today we've got a little bit of a show, not a whole bunch, but I know I don't need another plane, but I got another new plane, and I'm very happy to have gotten another new plane. And we're going to be unboxing that today. And then, actually, probably do it in the reverse order. I have a plane that has been on the channel a lot. I have hundreds of videos of this plane because I've done so much with it. I have the original Freewing 80mm F5. It's been through so many different renditions. So many different things have been done to it, but I'm actually going to retire it because it's been to hell and back, and I burned up some stuff. I'm trying to set up the guns that were in the plane. So we're going to pull that apart and take some of the stuff out that I plan to use in other planes because it has some of the newest X-Fly hardware in there, and it's just an old beat up plane. It's not. It's still in perfect flying order. I just am tired of dealing with it. I'm going to take out the stuff that I could use, and then I'm going to hand it off to someone else at my field to do whatever they want with it. But yeah, it's time for something different. Take out the ESC, take out the fan and the receiver, and hand it on off. Let it go live life with someone else. It's got near new servos, so yeah, it's good to go. But so we're going to tear that apart, tear some stuff out of that, and then we're going to tear into a new plane, which is the X-Fly 64 millimeter F-35, which I'm going to change to a 70 right off the bat because I want a little powerhouse. So I'm looking forward to getting that opened and seeing what that has to offer. And then I'll be getting, if the weather behaves, I'll be getting back to flying this weekend. So yeah, that's that. So just wanted to, I'm not going to be on here forever, but I do want to be on here for a little bit and chat with you guys. I don't think a whole lot happened in the RC world today. Normally I go through and check some things out. I think that there were a few refreshes that were done, but it's mostly, I think transmitter and car related. I have seen there's been a lot of sales from Hobby King lately, which is good. I've gotten quite a bit of stuff from Hobby King over the last few months because they've been putting out some good things, especially for my hand launching. I was able to go to my old stomping grounds yesterday and check out the literally flew the paint off of it, Fred Barron. But I went to my old stomping grounds. It was one of the places where I used to fly the F5. It's one of the first planes that got us to thinking about flying on from an actual runway, because I used to fly this plane off of a dirt path with its low power setup, which was kind of crazy. I was able to get this thing to take off from a dirt path and fly around the Baylands field. But I was it was funny too because Baylands, I started flying there right around, I didn't mean to turn that thing on. Oops, it's my old Samsung phone just turned on. I'll leave it on there. But anyway, started flying at that field right around 2008, got really good flying at that field at around 2010, and then the rest is history. But yeah, that's one of the planes that did my first videos with and flew there. So we're gonna tear that thing apart. I have a brand new airframe ready for some new stuff, and I have new fan setups that are going to go into it. So it's going to be fun, but we'll tear apart some of the stuff on that plane, set it aside, and then it's going to get a new home. I'll probably take it out to the field on Saturday and just put it out there for somebody to take. I don't sell planes after they've been used as much as I've used them. Doesn't make sense to. So anyway, and let's see what Randy's been saying. So Donston, Henry, I have the chat there too if you guys can follow along with me there. Just let me see. Davis, I didn't get good RC feel overslept. Rum, hey, sounds like a good way to oversleep. Last night, I wish I could have slept, but we had a hell of a storm come through, and it actually woke me up. We had, I think they had projected somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 mile an hour winds. The winds were over 70 miles an hour, and it was shaking stuff and ringing bells and waking things up. So, waking us up. We have a blind on our balcony that was slamming back and forth and waking up the wife and waking me up and right by my lipos. So I wanted to make sure that there was no rain getting on there too. So it wasn't. I covered it up and we got it going. But yeah, let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, as Fred Barron said, I flew. So let's see here. Mike Bird, does this move fit? Yes, that's the thing. And I'll show you guys if I can when I get in there. They say that it is No modifications required to upgrade it to a 70. You just have to remove a couple pieces, and it's already ready to go in. The 64 and 70, there's a very little difference in diameter, especially of the actual fan itself. The housing's not much different, so very cool. So let's see here what else is going on. So yeah, we were talking about Mr. Living Good getting um, the new little Aero Scout, which is great. So I want to talk about it just a little bit so that you can get a little bit of a head start. So as I was saying, they do sell a simulator. If there's any way that you could get the simulator, Randy Living Good, I would recommend that you get it. The one from um, Horizon Hobby. There's a light flashing up there. From Horizon Hobby, because they have the Aero Scout in there, and then they actually have lessons on the inside. Not inside. They have lessons in the simulator that can show you how to fly. So yeah. So they. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, you might want to go get the sim because it's totally worth it. It's a good tool to have, especially when bad weather comes around and you can't go fly. But if you don't want to risk your plane right away, I would recommend going and getting the simulator. You can fly the plane exactly like the one you got on the sim and go through the lessons and stuff that they give you, and it just gives you a better chance of succeeding at it. If you have some of that time on the sim with that plane, when it comes time for you to actually fly it, even using safe and all that other stuff, it's going to save you lots of money and time and grief, because sure, you could just go put it together and go out there and fly, but you're probably going to spend more time crashing into things or into the ground. Although, not everybody's the same, but it's always best. Get some help, number one, if you can. If you can't, get the sim. It's just the best thing to do. That's all there is to it. And yes, and then as the Fred Barron said, Wild Bill, I haven't been able to do that on Mondays. I'll probably do it this Monday, or unless I won't be home. But Wild Bill, he has the show on Monday where he does the sim, and it's definitely worth doing it. It's fun to do the multiplayer thing because then you can hang out with the guys, and there's chat and there's all that other stuff too. But definitely worth it. But getting into RC is fun, especially, I mean, any type of RC, but when you get into RC planes, it opens up a whole new avenue. Whether you're going to be rotary wing, which is helicopters, or you're going to be fixed wing, or you're going to be drones, aka multi-rotors, and all that other stuff, it's definitely worth it. Pilot wings, yeah, that's a cool. There is another sim. Yeah, they don't work on Macs. That's the problem. There was a sim for helicopters on PlayStation that actually taught me how to fly helis, so that was a good thing too. But so cool. So I have the chat there if you guys want to keep monitoring. But I like interacting with everybody. That's part of one of the main reasons why I enjoy doing the live streams, is because I can interact with y'all. Let's see. So also, yeah, see, that's a good thing. That's what I was saying. You want to make sure you can avoid stuff, because when you're first learning how your plane is like a magnet, and you have this bad habit of whatever you don't want to fly at, you usually look at it, and next thing you know, your plane's going to be in it. So I've had my fair share of flying planes into trees. I have done it. I had a multi-rotor stuck in a tree for a week before I actually found it. And I had a plane stuck up in a tree for a couple days. Anyway, RC is fun. RC cars, there's so much that can be done with RC cars, which is just kind of mind-boggling at the moment. But then it's the same for planes. You can do a lot more with airplanes, though, simply because of all the extra space that you can consume with the with an airplane. But yeah, I think Big Chris was saying that his field is shut down. That sucks. But yeah, bad weather's coming. I mean, but like I said, we had a real big storm, but it's supposed to clear out, and by tomorrow we're supposed to have a little bit of residual wind, but it's not supposed to be raining so bad. So she's 39 minutes from arriving. She's flying over. Where is she now? I think she's in Nevada. What's that? So anyway, following the wife on her trip up to Idaho. So yeah, and see, we used to have, I used to use climbing rope with bean bags wrapped around them, throw them up there. People would always freak out about how far I could throw things. So I was able to do that, or just knock them down with a ball or a football. Is what I used to knock things down with the most, and try to see if you could catch it once it was coming down. My Dynam Cessna got stuck up in a tree for half the day, I think, and I was able to eventually get that down. But yeah, place where I fly, the place where I used to fly, the trees were over pretty close to 60 to 70 feet high, so it was kind of hard to climb up there to get it, because it was, and they're eucalyptus, so those trees don't have limbs that are conducive to putting weight on. So anyway, so yeah, so like I said, we've got an F5 to pull the fan out, pull the ESC, pull the receiver and some other stuff out of. I'm going to leave all the servos, and I'm going to give the plane away. So I'm going to pull some of that stuff out first, and then right underneath that I have the box with the new X-Fly 64 millimeter F-35. So since we've been yammering a little bit of, before this, so it's already been going on almost a half hour, so why not switch it up, and we're going to get to working on that plane. So let me switch to the other camera. So give me just a minute, y'all, and I will be back. Okay, so I've got things kind of set up there. I didn't know that the volume was still up, but here we go. Trusty old F5, and as the Fred Baron said, literally flew the paint off of it. But this is an old bird. It's been around over 10 years. Got this in 2014, and it has been to hell and back. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. I only have one way to check on the chat, so it's going to be going back and forth. Anyway, so let's get started with two things. So first thing, as you can see, I've got the F5 there. This is my trusty old bird. This was the first plane, the first largest scale EDF that I did a burner with. So this was the first Gooniac afterburner. Oh, second Gooniac afterburner. Oh, so wait, it's got some stuff from Nate on here, of course, because Nate and his favorite stickers. Oh, that kid. Anyway, we've got some tearing apart to do here. This thing has been, oh shit, sorry, excuse my French, literally to hell and back from all the transport. This is from sitting on top of the MiG-21 one time on the way home from about an hour and a half out. And it just sat there and bounced, and eventually put a whole bunch of those little holes from that little thing that you open the canopy with. So anyway, let's get in here and see what the fan. This fan is pretty much not brand new, but it's new. And what I like about the XY fans is that they don't really take much damage. The blades tend to be in pretty good shape. I take it back. It's not the, oh, this is a FMS fan. Oh, this is the 2000 kV. I thought that I'd put an XY in here. Oh well, guess not. So this is the 36 millimeter 2000 kV FMS. And this plane did fly really good with that fan. But we are going to be taking this out. And we're going to put it in something else. So I'm probably going to put this fan in the Rafale once I get it together. Perfect fan for the Rafale because the Rafale needed more tail weight. And a little extra boost in power. And that's exactly what this would do. So let's get this open. But this plane had been radared at 162 miles an hour with this is with the older XY. Well, actually the newer XY. But I ended up taking that out and putting it in something else. So let's get this fan out. So I always have to remember this about this. It won't come out that way. Got to pull that. So let's get that out. This. I got a plush ESC. I don't remember if I had. I don't remember if I had all the other burners and stuff set up in this plane or not. But the original burners I had were a purple and bright white color to make it look like the real ones. If you ever look at the real F5 and the T38, they have very efficient burners, but the problem with efficient burners is that it makes them hard to see. So it's more white light instead of yellow flame, and as a result, hard to see during the daytime. So, all right, so let's get this fan out. This plane was a freaking workhorse. Workhorse. I literally put thousands of flights on this plane with a lot of different fan setups. So let's see here. Flip it over. So that's something I'd like to show you guys. Let me see if I've got the stuff that I need to show you. I have guns in this plane, and I don't know if I have a battery here. I can pull it out really quickly and show y'all what them guns look like. I do. All right, let's do it. So, I have the adapter here. I split it, and I think that's what eventually burned things up because of the way I tried to do it. But there are guns in the front of the plane. Yeah, they're there. But there are the guns. This is only two. It looks better when it's multiple, but there's two of the guns. This is actuated by the same burner controller that I used with my burners. This one is just going straight to the battery right now, though. But it's another cool effect that I'm adding to some more of my planes. I have it on a couple warbirds, so you guys will be able to see that. Let's see here. Let's make sure that I can yank all of this stuff out. It's going to stay there. Stay there, okay. Flip that over. And let's get this fan out. Yeah, I'll just pull it. So this is a cool fan. This is the latest and greatest from FMS. The coolest thing about this fan is that it will actually run 7S no problem. So that's one of the things I plan on doing with this because I have, and look at the blades. These blades, it's been flown a lot. I think there's one little nick in the blade right here, but only barely. These things are really resilient. But the coolest thing about these 36 millimeter motors is that they've got a fan. So the fan sucks air in and blows it out the side. So it's a pretty good design. So let's get that out. I'll put that in another plane. Get that ESC loose. And yank that through. Everything else will stay in there. There we go. So I think we're going to pull it all out the other way. Oh. So let's get in here and take the receiver. So everything plugged in the receiver is coming out. And that receiver will come out too. So now that we've got all that removed and that removed, flip it back over. Oops. Let's get it on out of there. There we go. Turnigy ESC. Turnigy Plus 100 amp. These are really good ESCs. Not expensive, but they work really good, especially when you're able to program them how you want. So that's out. That in there. So this still has some of my old afterburner stuff. Let's see if I can power that up. I've still got all that stuff in there. I don't think I clipped them. Yeah, they're still there. Yeah, so that's one of the ways I powered it. There we go. Okay. Let's see how we can power that up. Yeah. No, I need 12 volts. Yeah, we'll do it. So we gotta get this right here. This right here. Flip it over. Power up this old setup. There we go. So this way you can see the old original burner setup that I had. So there's purple there, and there's white here, and then there's warm white. And it would make a cool color out the back that looked a lot like the real thing. So there you go. So that was, and this was to go around the original Outrunner because there's no way to put it on the motor. So there's that. That's gonna stay in the plane. I'm not taking it out. But this is one of the original burners that I'd started from way back in the days, 2014, 2015, something like that. But yeah, so this bird gonna go away. That's all the stuff out of it that I was going to use. So let's put these little motor things back in. And I'll put the motor cover back on. And we will get this together, and then we'll get back to the unboxing. I've had so many different motor combos in this thing. I had the original Outrunner. I had a slightly higher kV Outrunner. Then I had their original Inrunner set up. And then I went to the FMS. The FMS original 2000 kV. Went to that one. Then I went to X-Fly. And another X-Fly. And then back to the 2000 kV FMS. So this thing has been all over the place. Flown all these different places. As far south as Apollo Field in LA, in Van Nuys, California, with the Victor RC jets. Let's get that back together. Let's put this back on. I did lots of work on this thing to make other fans fit. So that back in there. Then we're going to get the unboxing done on the plane that's below it. So I don't know how many people are in the chat or here at all, but I appreciate all y'all hanging out. Don't always do the coolest things, but at least I'm doing something where you guys can see. So this is going to have to go back like that, but I'm probably just going to throw it into the plane for now. Because otherwise it's not going to stay there. Flip this over. This is something I did too. I added some carbon fiber to there. Also added carbon fiber in here, but you can't see it because of the guns that are there. So put that back on. Put the canopy on. Oh wait, gotta rip out that receiver. I have to get that receiver out another time. But the receiver's coming out too. I think I glued it in place, but this will stay. I have the satellite glued in there. But that's it. It's been a workhorse. It's been a good plane. It's been lots of fun. Very high speeds. This was glass clocked even in this ugly form at 162. So it is always going to be one of my fastest birds. So anyway, so there we go. Okay, this bird's done for now. I have a Swiss Camo F5 in my storage ready to go. So anyway, let's get to this bad boy right here. This is the new 64mm F35 from X-Fly. I've been, a big supporter of FMS and X-Fly for a while, and I've been very impressed with the amount of time and effort that's gone into the X-Fly birds. Especially how far they've come in the last however long it is that they've been doing this now. This is kind of, how do you put it? You can't say it's a copy because it's not. It's a different size. But it is definitely its own thing, 64mm, and it's got some pretty good features too, from what I can tell. There are lights, nav lights. The paint is good. So let's not just talk about it. Let's get it busted open. I haven't opened it yet. It's still taped up. I took it out of the original shipping box, but I have not opened it all the way. So we are going to do that right now. So let's check it out. And so like I said, I don't know if I told you guys, but I took some time off from work. So I'm going to have a little bit of time to get this thing put together. And some other planes. And some other planes test flown. So let's get that open. Then we'll go over some of the features. I'm not going to build it, but I am going to open it up, go over some of the features with you guys. So since I've got the box here, you can look at the specs. Tells you the wingspan at 750 millimeters, 29.5. Overall length is 43.3, so the fuse is longer than the wings. Gives you a wing loading, 156 grams per decimeter, or per diameter. I don't know what they're saying. Diameter squared, I don't know what that means. Anyway, 1,800 grams weight. It comes with a 64 12 blade, 6S 2840 size motor, 2300 kV. Comes with a 50 amp thrust reversing ESC. With this 70, I'm probably going to have to change it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll even use the ESC that I pulled out of the F5. That might work. Or I have one of the smaller 100s from Freewing. But that's always a joke. It's not 6 to 8 minutes. But it has 9-gram servos and 13-gram servos, electric retracts. The cool thing about this plane are the retracts, and we'll look at that. And definitely the way that they configure the gear. The Freewing F35, the gear is too narrow and it's not really scale. This one is definitely more to scale and it's wider, so the plane's not going to tip. It has a cool, what is this cone? Tail cone. Looks much more scale than what Freewing did. The setup is kind of the same, but it's also pretty different. So it's just really cool to see something in 64 millimeter size with this amount of detail. And it can fly up to from 3,300 up to 5,000, 5,200 batteries. And I have all those sizes and in between too. So that's great. So let's get in here and see what's inside. So, and from what I've seen, FMS has done, I mean, not FMS, what am I saying? Sorry, that's sacrilege. X-Flight has done a really good job with simplifying construction and assembly. They've made it really easy. And it's not only that, they just actually put a lot of time into getting everything correct. So they're packaged well. You can see everything set up and laid up the way it should be. There's the instructions and some hardware. And everything's laid out great. So let's see if we can get it open without tearing too many things off. We're not going to do a full-on assembly here today, but we are going to unbox it and see what's here. Spar right here. It's going to come off right there. They did a really good job packaging. They put all this stuff in the way to protect it. Fuck you. What is all that? Excuse my French. I just had a little bit of a whatever just fell out of my closet here. So anyway, tail cone is really cool. Again, sorry for the French, but whatever. Things are what they are. Plumbers, mechanics speak, whatever. So, get that open. I'm not going to pull all this out, but I am going to open that. It's a spar here. It's going to stay. Looks like we've got the wings. The wings right here. And it's got a cool little LED on the end. Look at that. And it's just going to be plugged directly into this. So it's going to be powered off of the, just being plugged into the receiver. That's cool. So let's see how it was. Where was it? I guess I should have checked, huh? I don't know what it was. Whatever. I'll have to figure that out later. However it was. There it is, like that. Okay, we pull that out. These are the wings. This one seems to be jammed in there a little harder. That's pretty small. Pretty small for the wings. Shows you how much of this plane is actually like a lifting body. Fuck, how did that all fall out like that? What the hell? Oh well. So there's the wings. Uh, there's a spar. They did a good job packing this. They almost always do with all their stuff, so good to see. So there's the nose cone. Cool to see. Right there. And let's get into. There's really not that many parts to this thing, but it looks pretty cool. I gotta admit that. And it's nice to see that I don't have to assemble the vertical stabs. They're already there. And it was done in a way where the plane did not get damaged in transit. So look at this. Most of the wing is actually still there on the fuse. So I'm just putting on the outer parts, which is great. I mean, so this is the cool thing about this plane that they made a big deal about in the advertisements, which I actually like quite a bit. These retracts, they're full metal. They don't just jam up and down. They actually actuate pretty slowly, like real hydraulics, even though they're it's a trunnion. But still, it's pretty cool. The free wing version also has a big hole here, so it makes it kind of hard for grass operation. This has its own little grate there, which would help with that. But as I was saying, this is all metal. Everything's metal. Like the wheels look a little hard, but they're cool. Let's go back to this. Look at this. Good trailing link. The biggest important part of this is look how far out those wheels are. The free wings wheels are in here. Those are out in more of a scale area. So when they go out, when they extend, you're going to have better handling on the ground instead of it tipping over. The Freewing F35 is known for being super tippy. It's a great flying plane once you get it right, but ground handling has always been an issue, and the kids at the field always used to crack up at me when I drag a wing. So not going to have that problem with this. So what they say, I'm not going to bother opening this app. What they say, all you do is open this app, and there is a couple shims in there underneath the 64 that allow you to get in there and put a 70 in there. I'm not even going to bother flying with the 64. I'm changing it right away. I'm going to put a 70 in there. So that's what's going to happen there. But anyway, that's pretty much it. There's the vertical stabilizers are already on, which is great. Let's look at the motor while we're in there. But look at that cone. This is a really cool, really well-made kind of tail cone. Really scale, and it's actually the right color. The free wing was like this funky brown color, but this is an actual real, more like a titanium color, like it's supposed to be, and it's smooth. It's really well made, and it has the proper markings and all that. So, as you can see inside, it's got the 64 12-blade outrunner that's coming out, and the X570 is going in. So it's the new 70 with the what do you call it? 30 millimeter motor and higher kV. So very excited for that. But that is it for this part of it. I'm going to have to assemble it, and I'll probably do that in the next couple days. Just going to leave it like this for now. I have a mess over here I've got to clean up because something just totally fell out of my closet. But so yeah, so that's it for this portion. And I appreciate those of you that hung in there with me to go through this. I haven't been able to check out the chat very much. We're going to go over that here in a minute. So sit tight for a second, and I'm going to get out of here and do something else. Okay, so we are back. I'm not going to be here for too much longer, but Anthony Lachey, I see you there. Thanks for being here. Glad to see you back. It's been a while. Oh, looks like the wife landed. She just texted. So she made it to her destination in BOI, Boise, Idaho. So what's that? Is that a gray hair? It is a gray hair. So so that's it. Plane looks good. I'm pretty impressed. Pretty wide. I mean, the wings were really small. But like I said, like unlike the other plane, the wings are actually built into the side of the plane. So it's more of a lifting body, which is cool. So let me catch up on the chat. I want to make sure to interact with all y'all. I don't see a whole lot of people in here, which is fine. It's just quantity over quality, right? Quality over quantity, right? So let's see depth perception. So yeah, let's see. So this is what. Let's see what happens here. Fighting a leg effect. Oh man. So let's see what else is going on. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Let's talk about my F5. My F5 has seen a lot of airtime. A lot of airtime. So it looks like wait for Saturday moving day. Oh, cool. Good to hear it. Mike Bird. Guns Ablazing. Yeah, that stuff was going. I have a lot more to do with those guns eventually. So we shall be able to see lots more cool stuff, but I'll have some on Warbird. The P47 has those. Gonna have to get those done. Let's catch up. I'm currently right. Oh, that's a few, not too many. I tried to blast this out a little bit, and maybe if a few more people watch after the fact, that's fine too. So, Buddy said 65. I use an X-Fly in my 70 FW F22. Give it more whoosh, and it does not. That's very cool. Yeah. I don't want there to be much more whoosh because whoosh is usually a sign of drag and other stuff and turbulence. So, speaking of which, I didn't get to bring this up. There was a 3D printed plane that this guy was showing online where he's put and one of the new 8S free wing fans in. It looks a lot like a fun jet, but the fun jet was originally a prop plane. This is now he put a fan in it. Thing sounds is so quiet, so clean. Makes no noise. And without him really even being able to go crazy because he has a hard time seeing it, he got 156 miles an hour out of this thing, and it's hand launchable. So there's some cool stuff going on, and I definitely replied to him. But there's still some cool stuff going on in this hobby, thankfully. But I'm trying to regroup and do some things a little bit different than they've been done in the past. But we're getting it done. But Anthony Lachey, glad to see you here. I haven't talked to you in a while, but glad to see you were still on. Andy Cho, what is up? And glad you could come on for a little bit. I know you're in a completely different time zone, so I'll be here for a little bit longer. But Andy, I've been watching those videos you did of my F-22 and other planes, so definitely haven't forgotten about you. And we chat regularly. We chat all the time too, so it's cool. But anyway, looking forward to this F-35. I missed my F-35, so I'm going to take my F5 airframe, my old beat up F-35 airframe, and a couple more airframes and leave them at my field and tell people, please come take them away because I'm giving them away. I'm not selling them. So I'm going to send a message to my club president and let him know to let people know that I'll be dropping stuff off for people to take. Yeah, it's late over there. It's 8:34 here, and I wanted to finish watching the basketball game, so I'm gonna get back to that after I go clean up the mess that I made out of my closet over there. But So yeah, appreciate you guys being here again today. As you can see, there's my Grom behind me. That's my box. But I've still got the cars. Haven't done much. I'm going to be doing some car driving. Going to be doing some plane flying over these next few days, depending on the weather. Because like I said, I'm taking some time off from work. Got my things set up in a way where I can take off a little bit instead of having to be there to make sure things work. So anyway, don't want to keep Anthony up much longer since it's 11:33 p.m. over there. It's 8:35 here. So time to get going, but I do appreciate everybody being here. 3:34 p.m. So it's good time for you, Andy. But we're gonna get going. My voice is starting to fade, and I need to get some things put away. But big thanks to everybody for being here, and be sure to let people know that Gooniac is doing stuff online again. I've taken a little bit of a break, but I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to try to put more content out, flying content and car and builds and all that other stuff. So let your friends know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that goodness. Yeah, Andy, you're a full day ahead across the international date line. But anyway, we're going to get going. I appreciate all y'all, and stay tuned. More stuff to come. And there will be another live next week. So be here on Tuesday, let's say every day of the week with the one I want. Be here on Wednesday, same time, same place. I will have something else to do. And then all the rest of November. There might be some videos in between. Don't forget to take a look at the shorts I'm posting too. So video shorts. So yeah, that's it. Adios, y'all. Leave the chat up with some music for a little bit, and then that'll be it.